So you finally got the promotion, the one you've been grinding for, staying late, taking on extra projects, being the person who never says no. Your salary jumps from $65,000 to $85,000. And for about 2 weeks, you feel like you've absolutely made it. You're telling everyone. Your parents are proud, your friends are congratulating you, and then 6 months later, you're looking at your bank account thinking, wait, where did all the money go? You're making 20 grand more per year, but somehow you feel more broke than before. You've got this nagging anxiety that won't go away. And here's the really messed up part. You can't figure out what you're doing wrong. If this sounds familiar, don't click away, because what I'm about to show you is something that's happening to millions of people right now, and almost nobody is talking about it.
My name is Buffet, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible financial decisions right after getting promoted. If you're someone who's ever gotten a raise and somehow ended up with less money at the end of the month, or if you're about to get promoted and you want to avoid the biggest financial mistake of your career, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out.
Here's the thing. We've been sold this idea that making more money solves money problems. It's logical, right? More income equals more savings, more security, more freedom. Except that's not what the data shows. Not even close. A study from the University of Minnesota tracked over 4,000 professionals who received significant salary increases. We're talking 20% or more. And here's what they found. Within 1 year, 62% of these people reported higher financial stress than before their promotion. 62%. These aren't people who went from poverty to middle class. These are professionals going from 60K to 75K, or from 90K to 110K, and they're somehow worse off. Now, you might be thinking, well, maybe they had debt or unexpected expenses. And sure, that accounts for some of it. But here's where it gets really interesting. When researchers dug deeper, they found that the average person increased their monthly spending by $1,850 within 6 months of a $20,000 raise. Let me put that in perspective. A $20,000 raise after taxes gives you about $14,000 more per year. That's roughly $1,167 per month. But people are spending an extra $1,850 per month. They're not just spending their raise, they're going into the hole by an additional $683 every single month. This is what I call the promotion trap, and it's destroying people's financial futures in a way that's almost invisible until it's too late. Look, let's actually run the numbers on what happens when you get promoted, because most people never do this calculation. They just see the bigger salary number and their brain goes, more money, better life. Let's say you're making $65,000 a year. You get promoted to $85,000. That's a $20,000 increase, which sounds massive. You're probably thinking you're getting like $1,600 more per month to play with, right? Wrong. Here's the actual math. That $20,000 raise, after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, you're probably taking home about $14,000 of it. Maybe less depending on your state. So already we're down to about $1,167 per month in actual additional cash. But wait, here's what most people don't realize. When you get promoted, your tax bracket often changes. That $85,000 salary puts you in a different bracket than $65,000. So not only is your raise taxed, but more of your existing income is taxed at a higher rate. For someone going from 65K to 85K, your effective tax rate might jump from 18% to 22%. This is the part where people's eyes glaze over, but stay with me because this is crucial. What this means in practice is that your actual increase in take-home pay might only be about $950 to $1,000 per month, not the $1,600 you were imagining. We're already dealing with a gap between expectation and reality of about $600 per month. But here's where the trap really springs. Because you got promoted, certain things in your life changed that you didn't budget for. The new wardrobe. You're in a senior position now. That Target business casual isn't going to cut it anymore. You need to look the part. Suddenly, you're spending $150 to $300 per month on clothes you
wouldn't have bought before. The new car, your old reliable Honda with 140,000 miles, that was fine when you were entry level, but now you're pulling into the executive parking lot next to BMWs and Teslas. You tell yourself you deserve an upgrade. You've earned it. So you go from a $250 car payment to a $600 car payment. That's $350 per month. The new apartment or house, you can afford better now, right? So you move from a $1,400 apartment to a $1,900 apartment. It's nicer. It's in a better area. It makes sense for someone at your level. There's another $500 per month. The new social circle. This one's insidious. Your coworkers at this level eat lunch out. They do happy hours at nice places. They take weekend trips. They start saying yes to things that cost $50, $80, $120 that you would have never done before. Conservatively, that's another $200 to $400 per month. The new services. You're working longer hours now, more responsibility, so you start outsourcing. Meal delivery services, house cleaning, premium gym membership. These time savers add up to another $300 to $500 per month. Let me add this up for you. Wardrobe is $200 per month. Car upgrade is $350 per month. Housing upgrade is $500 per month. Social expenses are $300 per month. And new services are $400 per month. Total new monthly expenses, $1,750. Remember, your actual take-home increase was only about $1,000 per month. You're already $750 in the hole. And we haven't even talked about the sneaky stuff yet. Here's what's happening psychologically, and this is where it gets really interesting. When you get promoted, your brain doesn't just process this as more money. It processes it as validation, as proof that you're successful, as evidence that you've arrived. There's a concept in behavioral economics called mental accounting that explains this perfectly. Basically, we don't treat all money the same way in our heads. We create these mental categories. There's bill money and fun money and savings money. And when you get a raise, your brain automatically categorizes that new income as reward money, money you've earned through your hard work, and therefore money you're entitled to spend. A researcher named Richard Thaler won a Nobel Prize partly for documenting this behavior. He found that people treat windfall money, bonuses, raises, tax refunds, completely differently than their regular income. Even though it's all just money, we give ourselves permission to be less responsible with money that feels like a win. And here's the thing, companies know this. They know that when they promote you and give you a raise, you're going to feel validated and successful. And they know that you're probably going to spend yourself into a position where you need that salary, where you can't afford to leave, where you can't afford to take risks or negotiate hard or walk away.
This is where I get a little frustrated because I see smart people, really intelligent, capable people walking straight into this trap. They get the promotion, they feel successful, and within a year, they've built a lifestyle that requires every penny of their new salary. They've traded financial flexibility for the appearance of success. Let me show you how this typically plays out, month by month, because when you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Month 1 through 2, the honeymoon phase. You get your first bigger paycheck. It feels amazing. You're responsible with it. Maybe you pay off a credit card or put some in savings. You feel like you're doing everything right. Month 3 through 4, the small treats phase. You start thinking, I work hard. I can afford to eat out a little more, or I deserve to upgrade my phone. These feel like small, reasonable decisions. They are, individually, but they're establishing a new baseline. Month 5 through 6, the this makes sense phase. Now you're making bigger moves, the new apartment, the new car, but you justify it because mathematically you can afford the payment. You're not being irresponsible, you're just living at your means instead of below them. Months 7 through 9, the normalization phase. Your new spending level doesn't feel new anymore. It feels normal. It feels like what someone at your level should be spending. Your old lifestyle feels like a distant memory, maybe even a little embarrassing. Months 10 through 12, the trap closes. You get your annual review. You're hoping for another raise, and you realize you're not just hoping, you need it because your new expenses are fixed now. You can't downgrade the apartment without breaking a lease. You can't return the car. You can't go back to eating cheap lunches without feeling like you're failing. According to a Princeton study on income and happiness, this cycle is so common that they gave it a name, hedonic adaptation. It's the phenomenon where any improvement in your circumstances quickly becomes your new normal, and you end up no happier than before. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is critical. Hedonic adaptation works in both directions. Yes, you adapt upward quickly, but you can also adapt downward more easily than you think. The anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck at $85,000 is actually worse than living frugally at $65,000, because now you have so much more to lose. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but at least I'm enjoying my life, right? At least I'm living better. Look, I get it, and I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't enjoy the fruits of your labor. But let's talk about what this actually costs you over time, because the numbers are genuinely shocking. Let's take our example person. They went from $65K to $85K, and instead of saving or investing that extra $1,000 per month, they increased their spending by $1,750, putting themselves $750 in the hole every month. Over the course of a year, that's $9,000 in additional debt or missed savings. But it's actually so much worse than that, because we need to think about opportunity cost. If you had taken that $1,000 per month raise and invested it in a simple S&P 500 index fund, historically, it would have grown at about 10% per year on average. Here's what that looks like over time. After 5 years, you'd have $77,000. After 10 years, $205,000. After 20 years, $687,000. After 30 years, $1,890,000. Yeah, that promotion, if you handled it right, could have made you a millionaire by retirement. Instead, if you're going $750 in the hole every month, you're accumulating about $9,000 per year in additional debt. At 18% credit card interest, that debt compounds against you. After 5 years, you'd owe approximately $67,000 in credit card debt. After 10 years, if you keep this pattern up and are somehow managing to stay afloat, you're looking at over $150,000 in debt. So the spread between making the right choice and the wrong choice isn't just $1,000 per month. Over a career, it's the difference between having nearly $2 million and owing $150,000. That's a $2 million swing based on what you do after you get promoted. This is where it gets really interesting to me from a forensic perspective, because when I analyze the finances of people in their 50s and 60s who are panicking about retirement, you know what I find? It's not the people who never got promoted. It's the people who got promoted multiple times and increased their lifestyle with every single raise. They look successful on paper. They've got the nice house, the nice car, the prestigious zip code, but their net worth is shockingly low because they've been on a treadmill running faster and faster just to maintain the same lifestyle. Here's the thing. I'm not saying you should get promoted and live like you didn't. That's not realistic, and honestly, it's probably not even healthy. What I'm saying is that you need to be strategic about how you upgrade your life. There's a concept I want to introduce you to, the 50-30-20 rule for raises. Here's how it works. When you get a raise, take your actual take-home increase, let's say it's $1,000 per month, and split it like this: 50% to future you. This goes straight to investments, retirement, or paying down debt. In our example, that's $500 per month, non-negotiable. This money never touches your checking account. It's automatically transferred on payday. 30% to lifestyle upgrade. This is your permission to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's $300 per month to genuinely improve your quality of life in ways that matter to you. Maybe that's better food, or a gym membership, or saving up for a nice vacation. But it's controlled and intentional. 20% to the taxes you didn't account for and surprise expenses, because life happens, and you'll be glad you have this buffer. That's $200 per month that sits in a high-yield savings account. Now, let me show you what this looks like over the same timeline. With $500 per month invested at 10% average annual return, after 5 years, you'd have $38,500. After 10 years, $102,000. After 20 years, $343,000. After 30 years, $945,000. You still get to upgrade your lifestyle with that $300 per month. You can go out to nicer dinners, you can buy better clothes, you can enjoy your success, but you're not trapped. You're not living paycheck to paycheck on a 6-figure salary, and you're building real wealth. Here's what you need to do before you get promoted. And this is important because once you get that bigger paycheck, your brain is going to flood with dopamine and you're going to make emotional decisions
decisions. So you need to make the smart decisions now before the money hits your account. Step 1. Calculate your real increase. Don't just look at the salary number. Use a take-home pay calculator to figure out what you'll actually receive after taxes. Be conservative. It's better to underestimate than overestimate. Step 2. Automate the 50%. Before your first bigger paycheck arrives, set up automatic transfers. Half of your actual take-home increase goes to investments or debt payoff. This happens on payday before you have a chance to think about it. Step 3. Define your lifestyle upgrades in advance. Write down exactly what you're going to improve with your 30%. Be specific. I'll spend $150 per month on eating out at nice restaurants twice a month is way better than I'll eat out more. Vague intentions lead to lifestyle creep. Specific plans lead to controlled improvement. Step 5. Create a 6-month probation period. Don't make any big financial commitments for 6 months. No new car, no new apartment, no major purchases. Give yourself time to adjust to the new income level and see how it actually feels before you lock yourself into bigger fixed expenses. Step 6. Track everything. I know. Tracking expenses sounds boring and restrictive. But here's the thing. You can't manage what you don't measure. For the first 6 months after a promotion, track every dollar. You'll be shocked at where the money goes, and awareness alone will change your behavior.
You know who doesn't fall into the promotion trap? The people you'd never guess are wealthy. There's a book called The Millionaire Next Door that studied thousands of millionaires, and they found something fascinating. The majority of wealthy people don't look wealthy. They're driving 7-year-old cars. They're living in middle-class neighborhoods. They're wearing regular clothes. Meanwhile, the people who look rich, the ones with the luxury cars and designer everything, often have negative net worths. They're drowning in debt trying to maintain an image of success. The researchers found that actual millionaires follow what they call the wealth equation. Age times pre-tax income divided by 10 equals expected net worth. So if you're 35 and making $85,000, your expected net worth is about $297,500. If you're above that, you're doing great. If you're below it, you're likely caught in the promotion trap. But here's the good news, and this is where I want to get a little motivational with you. It's never too late to break out of this trap. Even if you've been living paycheck to paycheck for years on a 6-figure salary, you can turn this around. If you're already in the trap, here's your way out. The 30-day reality check. For the next 30 days, track every expense, every coffee, every app subscription, every impulse purchase. Don't try to change anything yet, just observe. You need to see the full picture before you can fix it. The expense audit. After 30 days, categorize everything. Fixed expenses like rent, car payment, and insurance. Variable expenses like food, entertainment, and shopping. And subscriptions. Now ask yourself, if I lost my job tomorrow, which of these would I cut immediately? Those are your lifestyle creep expenses. The downgrade challenge. Pick one major expense and downgrade it. This is psychologically hard, but it's necessary. Maybe it's moving to a cheaper apartment when your lease is up. Maybe it's selling the expensive car and buying something reliable but modest. This sends a signal to your brain that your worth isn't tied to your possessions. The wealth automation. Take whatever you save from that downgrade and automate it into investments. Every dollar that would have gone to the expensive car payment now goes to your future. You'll be shocked at how quickly this builds. The identity shift. This is the hardest part. You need to stop defining success by how you spend and start defining it by what you build. Your identity can't be person with the nice car or person with the luxury apartment. It needs to be person building real wealth or person who's financially independent. Look, here's the reality. The promotion trap is designed to keep you working. It's designed to keep you dependent on your job. It's designed to make you too scared to negotiate, too scared to switch companies, too scared to take career risks, because you've built a lifestyle that requires every penny of your income. The executives who make $500,000 a year and live paycheck to paycheck, they're not free. They're trapped in golden handcuffs. They hate their jobs, but can't leave because they need to maintain their lifestyle. Meanwhile, the person who makes $90,000, lives on $60,000, and invests the rest, they're building actual freedom. In 15 years, they could walk away from any job because they've built enough wealth to sustain themselves. They have options. They have power. This is what financial independence actually looks like. It's not about having expensive things. It's about having choices. And here's what most people don't realize. The stress relief that comes from having 6 months of expenses saved, or a growing investment account, or knowing you could survive a job loss, that feels better than any luxury purchase ever will. The peace of mind is priceless. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Getting promoted is amazing. You should celebrate it. You earned it. But the worst thing you can do is treat your raise like free money to upgrade your entire lifestyle, because that's how you end up making 6 figures and living paycheck to paycheck. That's how you end up trapped in a job you hate because you can't afford to leave. That's how you end up 55 years old making great money and panicking about retirement. The smartest thing you can do after getting promoted is to live like you didn't get promoted, at least with 50% of the raise. Take that money and invest it in your future self. Build real wealth, create real freedom, because here's the truth. Your future self is either going to thank you or resent you for the financial decisions you make today. The promotion trap is optional. You don't have to fall into it just because everyone else does. If this video helped you see your promotion or your raise differently, hit that subscribe button, because I make videos like this every week analyzing the financial mistakes that keep smart people broke. Give it a thumbs up if this was valuable to you. And here's my challenge to you. The next time you get a raise, whether it's next month or next year, come back and watch this video before you spend a dime of it. Make the plan, automate the savings, upgrade your lifestyle intentionally and strategically. Your future millionaire self will thank you.